At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today, we have a special guest.
Hammaz, what's going on, baby?
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm cool. It's a pleasure. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. So I love opening the show and I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory of like where we're going in life, sort of like our little habits that we pick up along the way. Tell me a little bit about your childhood, what that was like, and kind of how did you find your way into music?
Well, it was easy as far as finding my way into music because ever since I was a little kid, all of my parents, my cousins, I have a lot of family members that were just into music, whether it was DJing or performing or just writing. So it was always around somewhere. So it's easy to come across a strong influence.
I love that. I think that's awesome. Like for me growing up, I think once I watched one summer, like I kind of always was interested in film, but one summer I rented the Alfred Hitchcock Presents series. And when I watched it, I think something in me kind of changed. And I was like, I want to do whatever that is. I want to do that. Was there like an artist or a song that kind of like, I don't know, something that kind of like you knew this is what I want to do like forever?
I wouldn't say a turning point. I would say it would be more for me because initially when I started doing it, it was just to do it, just because it was something to do, then my friends was doing it. So just something to do with my friends. And then I accidentally had a big song. And then I was like, well, I might as well turn the corner on this and actually put a little put a little muscle behind my hustle. So
right. I love that. And like you said, you grew up around music. Do you feel like music growing like music then and music now is completely different? Like it's a different format. There seems to be, like it's to hit after hit after hit. And so I'm sure it's hard to kind of get lost in the shuffle of just getting your stuff seen because there's so much music. I mean, it's so saturated now, which is good, I think, and bad.
Everyone always did music. Right now, just the accessibility. Now everyone can access and see what this person is doing, not just necessarily on like the mainstream, but you can go underground and be able to tap into some of those artists as well. So that's a great range that everybody got. But you just got to stick to what you do, and the people who like the kind of music that you put out is definitely going to find you. So just stick to what you do and keep doing that, and then the consistency will pay off over time.
Absolutely. So let's get into your new album, Alpha.
AlphaMale 4, Magnum Opus.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Available on all platforms right now. Go download that and stream that on all platforms as well. And Shit's the very first single. Whew, tearing it up right now. Unexpected reactions right now. So I'm definitely, I'm big on it.
Yeah, I love that. Tell me a little bit about the title and the process of making that. Where did, how did it all come about?
Well, if you when you listen to the album, you're gonna see that "Shits" is really like a standout song compared to all the other songs that's on there. So when I was making the other songs on there, when I was going through it, I'm listening, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna need like a staple to like one of those "I'm back" type songs to let everybody know, and that's exactly what I was able to cook up. And with my brother, MusicByDre, he was able to jump on that thing and bless it with me. So yeah, I think we did a good job on it.
Nice, nice. How involved are you when it comes to making, music? Are you in? Are you? I mean, are you like super hands on with every process of
Oh
making
yeah,
a song?
you got to be hands on with every process, but at the same time, you got to trust the producer to do what the producer do. You got to trust the engineer to do what the engineer is going to do, and then expect everything to come up together at the end. But you always got to have your little input to where if you want certain things, if you want certain likes, and you might hear something different than what they hear. So when you put all the ideas together and they come together, then you can just hear that masterpiece. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Is there a meaning behind the like as far as like the title and the album of the song Magnum Opus, like that's, I think that's very interesting. I mean, it just sounds very alluring and like, oh, what is that,
Yeah, the allure is definitely there, and a lot of people been just straight Googling. As soon as they hear the title, they just straight Googling, and they say, "Oh, you know what? This title definitely fit," and that's what I wanted. I didn't just want to just give it any plain name. I definitely wanted a name that's going to talk about like the body of work that I have on there. Because as you listen to each song is like its own album within itself. So when you listen to that, it's just going to come alive, and it's just like some of the best writing that I did.
I love that. I love that. Who's someone that, as far as like, I mean, you have artists who are also featured on this. Like, as far as like, when it comes to artist collaborations and featuring other artists on your music, how important is that? You mean you want the right person, right, on your song to deliver and to convey whatever feeling and emotion you want. How important is that for you to find the right person, and how do you know when you have the right person?
That's very, very important. And at the end of the day, you have to trust your ears
Yeah.
because clearly, I have a lot of friends that do music. So everybody hear a song that they want to get them part of
Yeah.
it. Or yeah, submit your verse, go ahead, send it on, bro. But it's no guarantees. I keep it 100 with them. So and I also let them know, like, this is the vibe that I'm looking for. Like, if you can give me this direction, then we can go with it. But if not, then I'll save you for another project and be cool with it.
I love that. I love that. That's kind of the vibe. That's really cool. I love what you said. You mentioned that again showcases your range, and it's also Grammy potential. What sets this song apart from others on the album?
When I hear songs, when I play them back, I listen to them in like tiers, like creativity, like wordplay, like different genres basically. And again, just comes off as just one of those upper echelon type songs where it's like I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, but it's a fine line and I'm tiptoeing. But I'm
Right.
like,
Just a little tiptoe. Nothing wrong with tiptoeing. That's good.
yeah,
Right. What's your sign, if I may ask?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, interesting. Which honestly, I would have never guessed that. Huh.
What you thought I was?
I was
What you
going to
thought
give
about?
you fire because of the album title, Alpha Male. Very just standing in your power, very fire-esque. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I would have never thought that. That's cool, though.
What's
I
your
like.
sign? What's your sign while we ask it?
Oh, I'm definitely fire. I'm an Aries.
Okay, okay. So you're
I love Taurus, though. You guys are great. Shout out to you guys. Um, so tell me, so do you, and curious of what your thoughts about, now that we are in a time now, like AI is here, it is alive and well, and there's this talk of like, oh, AI is not good and it's scary. And then there's other people like, oh, it's really good. What do you think is the benefit of AI? And because I mean, I have my reasonings for why I like it, but I can see why people are a little afraid to embrace the new wave.
Right, right. It makes sense. Everything that comes out has its pros and its cons. You know, I can give you reasons why I like it, and I can also give you reasons why I don't like it. And it's just
Yeah.
like with everything else in life. So yes, it's going to be helpful in some kind of way, but the way I see a lot of people is misusing it is where it's like it takes away the creativity, it takes away the art
Mm.
from the actual artist if you're just going to use AI to create something for you. So it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How do you maintain versatility in your music while still staying true to your style?
It's simple. I get that question asked a lot is because I'm not a robot. Speaking of AI,
Right, right.
so every day I have different experiences, and me, if I'm the one that's talking about my life and my different experiences, then they're definitely going to be different. So that's the versatility that's going to come in right there. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, you're from, was it Delaware? Is that what it is?
yeah,
Delaware.
Delaware.
I'm not really familiar with Delaware and what that
A
is.
lot of people's not because we so small, but we here.
Ah,
Yeah,
is it
the tri-state, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, right around the
okay?
corner, right up the street from DC, Baltimore, so we can get everywhere from right here.
Was that kind of, is that like heavily influenced in the music world? Is that like a musical play? Because when you think about like you hear about like Brooklyn, New York, you got the rappers that come like your Nas and your Jay-Z's, those kind of places. But I would think I mean it's pretty much like uh I don't know. I wonder if it's heavily influenced like with music and stuff.
Appreciate it. Oh, my fault. Yeah, but as far as the music influence, I travel, so I go everywhere, not just in the
Love that.
tri-state and these surroundings. So yes, I get influenced by what they do, but I'm all out. I'm all over the place. So West Coast, down south. I spent a lot of time in the south, so that influence come across in my music as well. So
Yeah, no, that's cool.
that
Um,
helps versatility as well. So you get to be different when it comes out of different type of beat forms. You know, back when I first started making music, it was more like one track minded, one type of beats, one type of song, or one genre. But as you start evolving and expanding, so does the music.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, because you hear different sounds from when like you hear like I think I saw something recently of a this girl, her name is Glorilla. She's like from Memphis. Like you hear it in her, you're
Yeah,
like, wow, I've never heard anyone sound like that.
yeah, yeah. And then everybody love that Memphis twang. Yeah. So it sounds good when you get to hear the music, and that's the originality, that's the creativity. So
Hmm.
that's what we love. So yeah, she's standing on it.
Right, right. Do what okay, it's a fun question I love asking people. And there's no wrong answer, but the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Mm, mm, mm. I said a respect.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put money last because with the respect, you're gonna get the power. Yeah,
Mm.
so everything else is gonna fall into line anyway. So I ain't even really worried about nothing.
That's a good answer. It's a great answer. I love that. Is there artists that you like, you have on your list, like your the who's like the holy grail that you would love to, work with or collaborate with?
Beyonce.
Wow, interesting. I would have never thought that.
Yeah, I know I was gonna catch you
You're
left field.
shocking me today. You're really, I mean, I'm really blown away. I love it. I
And,
love it.
and the reason why I say that is because touching back on the versatility, I do all sorts of music. Like I write music like for all the female features that be on my albums and stuff. I write that
Nice.
part. So
Nice.
even though I'm not on there physically singing it, I'm in touch with the art side a little bit as well. So I think we'll definitely be able to put something together and make some classics.
Yeah, she's been around for a long time, and I mean, her career spans what I think like 40 years, something like 25, 30. So it's crazy. I mean, I remember growing up hearing her. I was like, holy crap.
Her career span is from birth when the
Yeah, I do
doctor
right.
pulled up. Hit that first note, it was over from there.
Right. Right. Um, that's funny. Do now if you could be managed by, any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Who managed? Oh, gosh. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Dr. Dre.
Oh, it's a good one.
Hmm. And the reason why is because he don't miss. Everybody that he like physically put his hands on, his fingerprints on, is here to stay. So yeah.
Yeah, he's figured out he's got the blueprint, as they say.
Yeah.
He's figured it out.
He got the formula.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of, that now, what do you think it, for to keep staying relevant? Because it's, this is such a, nowadays music is how it's it's digested, with the younger generation now. It's like on to the next, on to the next. Our attention span is so short. Like, what do you think is the key to longevity for artists today?
Sheesh. You gotta have your own formula, your own niche of what you do, and also be able to incorporate what's going on at the time. So if you can just keep what you're doing true to you, and then you can just incorporate a little bit of the new stuff that's going on, that will always keep you around. Especially a lot of new artists as well, because even the different music they be putting out, that should be fire.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it seems like you have to stay kind of relevant with the times and what's kind of happening now, but also, still having yourself in it as well. But I'm sure that could be incredibly, you have to really be in on the TikToks and all the social media stuff, which seems like another job, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that is definitely another job in itself, or just pay, because I'm pretty sure everybody got nieces and nephews, and once you just see what they doing all the time, you just hearing what they influenced by, and they only be like, okay, I see your way.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I love that. I'm curious, you know, has there been, and I love talking to people about their journey because I feel like in this journey there's always ebbs and flows, ups and downs. Like you just never know. But what keeps you going through those tough times?
At the end of the day, I'm doing this for me. Like, I appreciate all the fan support. I appreciate every like, comment, share, download, stream. Like, I love it. That also pumps me to do it. But without that, before that, I was doing this for me. When no one ever heard the very first song that I wrote, I was
Wow.
doing it for me. So as long as you keep doing what you love for you, then everything else is just it just comes with it.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, you have to. You really have to just keep going because you just really never know. You never know. Do you feel like hip hop or just music and it's like itself has changed for the better and in favor of the artist? Because you hear about the artists now, like a lot of them are saying, you got to have your masters, you got to have control of your music because the big corporations can, which are great, they're great to partner with, but also they can steal your music. And it's the same thing of what Jay-Z said, you don't want to just get rich and die broke, which a lot of artists ends up doing. um, do you feel that things are getting better and more like we're moving in a direction where things are more in favor of the artist?
Tad bit, small steps, baby steps, but that's what took the love and the passion out of the music is when like the big corporations, even though it's no issues with them, because like I told you, I have my pros and my cons with everything.
Yeah.
But they come in clearly as business, certain things that have to be done a certain type of way. And then like the general music that people will make out of love or just because that's their life, they don't make that anymore. Now they try to make competitive music because that person's making this type of music. I want to make this type of music as well. So, no, stick to what you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely stick to it. I love that. You said Boss Talk, right? It gained its significant, a lot of attention, especially with its feature on DMX mixtape. How did that collaboration unfold, and what did it mean to you?
That was heavy because growing up, I was always a big DMX fan. Like I told you, right here in the tri-state, we're influenced by everybody around. So New York is right there, and I got a lot of family in New York. Shout out to New York. And DMX, he was a heavy hitter at that time, and it still is. Bless him. And I reached out to him,
Yeah.
and I think we had a couple of mutual partners, but I reached out to him, and like a real one, he replied back.
Nice. Love
So,
that.
yeah, we had a couple of genuine conversations talking about how I did some songs to in like tribute of him. I played it. It was fire. It's like, man, that's dope. We should do something. And they tell me you got the mixtape that's dropping. You feel me? If I want to put one of my songs on there, send it on through. And I was like, well, shit, that's good timing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
yeah, sent them that original Boss Talk, and then that did crazy numbers. And I dropped before the album AlphaMale 3. That's what that's on. And
Nice.
then yeah, that was decent as well. But Boss Talk 2 is on AlphaMale 4. So
Hey.
we'll listen to 3 and then come and listen to 4 and then talk.
I love that. I mean, DMX. I mean, my goodness, like, RIP. I mean, one of the best, one of the greatest ever do it. And he
Absolutely.
seemed like he was super hyped, like he was super conscious rapper. And I love when artists can be on like a higher consciousness, because I mean, there's so much music now you hear, and then you're just like, you feel like, what did I just listen to? I don't feel like I've gained any type of knowledge, but that's
Yeah,
just
he
me.
was one of them.
Yeah.
I shot him out on my a song again. That's on the album as well. I shot him out on that as well too. So
Nice.
he's that different. He's one of those wide range of artists. When you go in there, you're gonna get more than what you bargained for.
I
Like I did.
bet.
Yeah, I did not know I came for a concert. Came for a church. I came for a block party. all in one album.
I think that's awesome. Tell me tell me more about your entertainment company, Alpha Male Entertainment, and what role does it play in your career? I mean, that's really cool that you have that. Like, what made you say, yeah, I want to start my entertainment company?
Started doing a lot. I started doing the skits. I started doing commercials. I did the URL commercial for Al Capone Cigarillo, and then I started doing movies, little short films around Delaware.
Nice.
Started expanding. So I was like, you know what? Since I'm in entertainment, I got to put everything underneath one umbrella and just come reach me. So,
Love that. I love that.
along with
That's so
the
cool.
rapping, the performing, the movies, and the commercials. Like I said, I write songs as well. So R&B songs, hip hop songs, whatever, pop songs. Like I'm very versed.
Love that. What advice would you give to artists out there, or just people that are trying to get into this industry of this entertainment?
Find your niche. Is the only thing I can say because it's nothing worse than hearing a new artist that have a hot song that sounds like a very familiar artist that also has another hot song. So it's like, come on, buddy. Like if you can make a hot song, make a hot song based on you and who you are. Don't try to come out and sound like someone else and all that. That's just watered down.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. Stay true to yourself, because I mean, if you know, like, no one can be a carbon copy of you, only you can be yourself. And I think that's what sets everyone apart. If people would just be themselves, I think a lot of people go further in anything that, whatever career that you choose. Absolutely. But I think a lot of people feel like they have to be like a certain people that are already on,
Yeah,
quote
just to
unquote.
keep them. But then it's no evolution after that because now you're waiting for that person to evolve in order for you to do something new. So it's like
Right.
now you back lost at square one.
Exactly. It's the weirdest thing. It's very interesting. Yeah. Oh man. Would you say that um, you know, as an well, I don't know, would you label yourself as an independent artist?
Yes.
Now, when a lot of people hear that, they're like, oh, but I think it's absolutely freeing to be an independent artist, because you have more freedom, and versus like, and there's nothing wrong with being, on a label, which is great because they have the machine backing you up. But do you feel like, as an independent artist, do you have to work, I guess, 3 times as harder to get your stuff out there even more, on to be recognized? And how
It's
difficult is it? for
as far as the recognition, absolutely, it's definitely harder work because obviously the people with the machines, they're gonna be pushing their artists, so they're gonna have a lot of the bigger lights, obviously. And it's nothing wrong with signing to a big label. Like I wouldn't mind signing to a big label, just if everything is aligned, if everything is right, and we can come to terms and make something happen. Then yes, absolutely. But until then, um, being creatively free, without no real obligations or timelines or deadlines, so you're free as far as that as well. So yeah, it has its benefits, but like I said, with everything, it's pros and its cons.
Yeah, you see, I'm not gonna say exactly a lot of certain artists now that who are at a certain level. I mean, I think we all kind of know what's going on in the music world, and on a certain level, we see certain artists like the person who works for Bad Boy Records. But you think those people like that, you think, is it the person, or do you think it's the machine influence that kind of, I guess, kind of gets a little murky over time? I feel like people don't start out wanting that kind of success. I think it's just they want to make good music. But I feel like as time goes on, you have to play the game in order to stay, on top,
Gotcha.
unfortunately.
And that's the business side of things.
Yeah, right.
You want to do one part of it is because that's the love, but then it's the business side of it. If you want to sign with someone else who is invested into you, and if you're not mentally prepared to do that and go through that, then this is not the game for you.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's hard telling somebody that when you put a bag in front of them and they're like, ah, shit, it's time for this today.
It's interesting about that. I actually had I had a situation when I signed on to a company when I first started my career in film. I met one of the top music video directors who I'll keep nameless because he's still working. I was working for his company for about 6 months and everything was great. And I was getting paid a lot of good money. And I got to a point where it just was, the environment was not right. And I had to make a choice, and it put a lot of money in front of me. I mean, money that I've never seen like that in my life. And I had to make a choice of, okay, do I want to take this money and, skyrocket with this company and be the thing that I've always wanted to be? Or do I want to have my integrity and still have my voice so that I can feel more comfortable to sleep at night? And of course, it's going to take a little longer, but the benefit,
Gotcha.
And I had to walk away. And I remember him telling me, he's like, good luck with, your career. You're going to need me. In the end, I was like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it without you. So I kept my promise.
But that's just what it is. It's just like work, like anything else. If you're gonna sign up to one of these companies to try to secure that bag, it's just like going to work as a teacher, going to work as a custodian. You're gonna be doing things and dealing with people that you don't want to do and environments that you don't want to be in. So everything is gonna have its slight difficulties. But once again, it's up to you. What can you stand? How much can you stand? And then you make a decision that's beneficial for you.
Absolutely. Is there, so now that this is out, are you performing it anywhere? Are there any shows coming up soon?
I got a few that's on the line right now. I'm trying to confirm those dates. So as soon as I do, then I'll definitely be posting on my Instagram, AlphaMale_ENT. So yeah, I have a lot of things cooking right now. Back to back. Yeah, magazine placements already. So everything is popping off with this.
Awesome. So actually, I have a question. Is there a moment that, say, in your career that kind of whether it's an interaction with a fan or somebody that listens to your music, like a moment you remember, one of your most memorable moments, maybe performing or whatever, that you have a fond memory?
It's a lot of memories. It's always memories. And I'm fun with all of them. Some of the best memories that stick out to me is during the downtime. Every artist goes through a period of time where they're not releasing any kind of music and stuff like that. and then you get that one random fan mail that just sticks out to you. That you're just like encouragement. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let me get back on the horse and put some stuff out.
I
So
love that.
those are the moments that really drive me the most.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, I think those are, yeah, it's just like, okay, well, this is why I do it. Like someone feels good about, like I
Yeah.
made someone's day just by them listening to my song or
And it's
that's
not
a
during
good feeling.
not during the height of a new release when everybody's always hitting you up, blowing you up, but
Yeah.
on downtime when that wave go down and no one's looking for anything at the moment, who's still listening to your music? And when they reach out to you, that's what hits different.
I love that. That's beautiful. Where can people find you on social media so they can follow everything you have coming up?
Oh man. AlphaMale_ENT. It's on Instagram. Facebook, Hammers on Deck. And all over the social media sites. So just follow me on those two for right now.
All right.
Be able
Yeah.
to everything that's going on.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was lovely to chat with you.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. And definitely come back in the future. Well, come back anytime.
I'm always looking forward to it. When I drop my next single, Pee Wee Kirkland, then I'll spin the block and talk about that as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.